How's it going, everyone? So another top 30 visit for the Packers, and this one is going to be on a defensive tackle in Christen Miller out of Georgia. So Christen Miller comes in as the fourth best overall ranked defensive lineman. He's a defensive tackle mostly, but he's grouped in with all the defensive linemen. So he's fourth overall out of all the defensive linemen. And he is currently ranked 46th overall out of all the players on the consensus draft board. So he's kind of projected to go into that round 2 pick, and Green Bay Packers, Georgia Bulldogs, first picks in round 2. This could be a possible pick for the Packers. Now, as for Christen Miller's RAS score, we do not have it because unfortunately he had a pulled hamstring during the time that the scouting combine would have occurred, and during his pro day, he didn't do any athletic testing, probably because of that hamstring, and he didn't want to further injure it. So unfortunately, we don't have any athletic measurables. What I can tell you is he's 6'4" and 321 pounds. He's a big boy. So moving past that, considering we don't have it, onto his stats, he did play 4 years at the collegiate level, all at Georgia. In his first 2 years, he didn't really play too much. Started getting a lot more starter downs over in his third and in fourth year. So just looking at his final year, he played in 14 games, had 23 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks. And that's just on the baseline of stats. Over on the PFF side, though, as you can see for his grades, he had an 82.3 defensive grade, an 88.1 run defensive grade, 40.1 tackling, pretty low, unfortunately, and a 70.4 pass rushing grade. He's mainly there for run-stopping defensive purposes. For his pressures, he had 16 total pressures, no sacks, but 2 hits and 14 hurries. He had 16 total tackles. 5 missed tackles, which was unfortunately good for a 22.7 missed tackling percentage. So a little bit high on the missed tackling percentage, but not many missed tackles in a numerical sense. But otherwise, like I said, he's mainly there for run stopping defensive purposes. That's where he excels at. Now, what are some of these strengths and weaknesses for him? Strengths: elite run defense, ranked as one of the best in his class, earning a very high grade over there on PFF. First step explosiveness, quick off the snap, often catching guards flat-footed to disrupt plays early. Hand violence, uses heavy, active hands to deliver shock on contact and shed blocks quickly. And then technical soundness, stays low with a wide base, making him difficult to move even against double teams. Areas for him to improve: pass rush production. Career sack numbers remain low. Granted, he is a defensive tackle, and he lacks refined counter moves. So once again, pass rush is where he's going to have to improve the most to be kind of like an every down tackle. He won't be there for obvious pass rushing downs. Tackling consistency, experienced a spike in missed tackles in percentage, at least in his final season. And injury history, he underwent shoulder surgery after the 2024 season, which teams will monitor during medical evaluations. Probably another reason why they brought him in for a top 30 visit, to have a slight medical evaluation to see how that shoulder is holding up. But it seemed like it held up pretty well, considering he pretty much played all of 2025. Now, as for some pro comparison, we got 2 of them, one from Bleacher Report and one from NFL Buzz. Bleacher Report, pretty big fan of this one. Pro comparison is Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark was a monster with us while his time over with the Packers, so big fan of that one. If he turns into another Kenny Clark, especially if Kenny Clark of the younger years, I'll be completely fine with that, especially as a day 2 pick. Then over on NFL Draft Buzz, they have Mazai Smith. So I'm more leaning towards the Kenny Clark one, of course. And so obviously we're going to a 3-4. I'm not sure how all of our players are going to translate, going back from a 4-3 to a 3-4. So they're going to have to get some big beefy bodies in there to clog up some space. So this is one of the players that has the potential to be drafted by the Packers. Will they go defensive tackle? Will they go cornerback? That remains to be seen. But this is definitely a player to keep an eye on to see if the Packers, if A, he falls to the Packers, and B, if the Packers actually pull the trigger on a defensive tackle. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.